And welcome into NBC World Series Live here at the 87th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. We're here at Hobart Detter Field in Hutchinson, Kansas, getting ready for Game 4 of the day, or it's actually technically Game 8 if you're looking at your brackets.
Yep.
So first of all, we have to recap the last two games since we didn't join you for the last game. Just now, we had our first walk-off of the tournament. This one was courtesy of the Derby Twins and Derek Wynn, a guy that everyone's had to worry about in the Sunflower Collegiate League all summer long.
I was in the dugout while this happened, and actually all the Twins were like, really? You're going to intentionally walk a guy and then bring up Derek Wynn, who was 2 for 4 on the day. So he did a very good job. So it was surprising to see them allowing Derek Wynn to come out of the play. I saw a walk-off coming from there. I've seen Derek Wynn hit the ball well all summer long.
You can't take away from the performance from Liberal, though. Liberal was able to get 1 or 2 runs here and there as they went through the game, kind of a little bit more consistent, if you will.
Of course.
As for Derby, they got their 4 in the top of the second and just coasted from there.
Yeah.
So really surprising it was Derby who ended up coming out on top. Don't overlook Liberal. They will be in the loser's bracket facing Boulder on Friday. They might still have something to say in this tournament.
You know, that game's good and all, but we got a rematch, folks. The Derby Twins versus the Cheney Diamond Dogs. That's going to be a great game to see. I cannot wait to see that game, and it's going to be super exciting to watch.
It will be a good one, and it's good you bring that up. The Cheney Diamond Dogs win the second game of the day just a little while ago. That was actually Game 5 if you're looking at your brackets.
Right.
And that was one that looked like for a while it might stay kind of even, and then Cheney just put up 1 or 2 runs in 3 or 4 straight innings and really ran away with that game.
In the pregame before, I said Cheney has to start hot and get the bats going. That's exactly what they did. They scored the first 3 runs, and then after that, it was a back-and-forth battle. But because of that early start, Cheney continued to build and do a really good job off of that.
And it seems like Cheney is a team that a lot of people were kind of underestimating coming into this tournament.
I was,
being a team that, especially finishing 4th in the Sunflower this year, they weren't a team that a lot of people were really worried about coming into this, especially a Boulder team who succeeded the way they did. 23-3 in the regular season, Boulder was. So they were a team that needed to be worried about, and Cheney just said, let's play our kind of ball game, and that's what won them the game eventually.
And you said it. That's Cheney Diamond Dogs baseball for you. If they continue to play at that pace, they're going to make an excellent run towards the championship week, and I'm excited to see that happen.
So you mentioned that they will play Derby. That's also on Friday. We will not know game times until probably sometime tomorrow.
Right.
As soon as we have those, take a look at our Twitter and Facebook, and we'll let you know the 4 game times for Friday. Those 4 games will consist of the winners of today's games and the losers of today's games. So obviously Cheney Derby will be 1 game. Boulder and Liberal will be another game. Then the winner of the Lone Star Great Bend game, which was Lone Star, will play the winner of our upcoming game between Seattle and the 316 Elite. The loser of that game will play Great Bend in the loser's bracket. That sets up for a really good Friday night here in Hutchinson.
It's going to be great games. I think these games today have been very entertaining, super fun to watch. And like we said, it's this NBC time. You got to bring up that game, and they did an amazing job. I cannot wait for those games on Friday.
And it has kind of seemed like so far in this series that one team is really getting things started really early in the game and making another team catch up.
Exactly.
Is that, do you think, something we're going to see throughout the series?
I think so. I think that's been summer baseball, and that's exactly what you want to do. You tell your guys coming in, hey, start off hot, make them catch up. And if they continue to do that, whatever team has that, it's just making it difficult for them to catch up.
In a double elimination tournament, it's really hard to guess the strategy of a coach.
Right.
Are you going to bring your ace pitcher and have him pitch the first game to hopefully put off that first loss?
Right.
Or are you going to save that guy for your potential elimination game? And it seems like a lot today we've been seeing the guy that hasn't been the number 1 all year long. We've kind of been seeing the guy who might have been the 2 or 3, maybe to save that star.
It's a good story. It's a good thing to do. I've seen it multiple times in the JUCO World Series and past previously. Pitching wins you a tournament in these championship games. In all the elimination games, you got to have a good pitching staff or you're not going to do good in these tournaments at all.
And that seems like something that the Sunflower Collegiate League has promoted so well this summer, is that really solid pitching has won games a lot this year. It's been hard to score runs in a very powerful league. And once you start facing some of these pitchers who might only be pitching 5 or 6 innings a game, it's easy to get these guys rattled. And that was the story, especially in that Cheney Boulder game, is it just seemed like Cheney got to their starter a little early.
Exactly.
And he was just kind of behind the whole game.
Right. And that's going to happen. You have to rely on your bullpen and you have to rely on your closers to make sure to finish off the game. And one thing about Sunflower Baseball, you said it, is it's funny. I watched lots of games. Most of the runs were scored from the 6th inning on. After their starter has put in the work, those relievers have to set the tone, but sometimes they can't, so then they take advantage of it.
Well, I promise you that wasn't the last walk-off we'll see in this 87th NBC World Series. You can catch all of the games right here on our NBC World Series YouTube page. All 31 games of the entire series will be there. Look there for the as soon as game times are, which is usually noon, around 3, around 6, and around 8:30. That's when we're going to have those games there for you. We'll join you about 20 minutes before every game except the feature games here in Hutchinson and kind of get you set, let you know what happened in the previous games. But now it's time to get you set for our upcoming game.
Here we go.
The final game of tonight's slate. It's Game 8 on your bracket if you're following along, and it is for the right to play the Lone Star Baseball Club out of Austin, Texas, who put on a show earlier today.
Yes, they did.
Team 1 is going to be the team we have a little less on, and that's the 316 Elite. This is a group of almost entirely high school players, or at least higher up high school players from the Wichita area who have put a team together, played most of the summer together, and now have a very good chance to prove themselves against one of the premier teams in the National Baseball Congress.
I think you said it best. Try to promote themselves, try to play a good baseball game. I think everyone here thinks Seattle's going to get it done, but who knows, that underdog mentality, it's really cool to happen. I enjoy seeing this 316 team every year, getting to see a high school team build up and just see the elite baseball players around the Kansas high school area.
And if you didn't know about the Wichita area baseball scene, the 316 Academy kind of spreads from, I believe their first team is near the 5 or 6 under, and it just moves up from there. We do have that high school team of the 316 Elite. We also have their collegiate team that participates in the Sunflower League, and that is the 316 Sluggers. They will play tomorrow at noon against the Puerto Rican collegiate team. We'll have a lot more about those tomorrow morning. Very exciting game tomorrow. Of course, we'll talk more about it tomorrow.
Of course.
But first, this 316 team, obviously they have something to prove. What does it take to beat a Seattle team?
Good bats, good pitching. Good bats. I think good bats. You're really going to have to take advantage of their pitching somehow and just get the bats moving because, honestly, high school pitcher compared to a elite college pitcher is going to be really, really hard to battle and defeat. So I think you got to get those bats going. Yeah,
and this is a Seattle team who brings pitchers almost exclusively from four-year universities and prestigious baseball four-year universities at that. I mean, these are guys from the St. Cloud State out in that area, a couple from Kent State, a couple from Everett Community College who has been known to produce very high-caliber ball players. This is a Seattle team that always brings what they have, and we will give you the little rundown on them. The Seattle-Tacoma Cheney Studs, that'll be the only time we call them that. That's their official name. And funny. They come out of just around the Seattle area, a little closer to Tacoma. They're led by head coach Barry Aiden. A little bit about Barry Aiden. He is a 2011 National Baseball Congress Hall of Fame inductee.
Boom.
And after this season has over 1,100 wins in collegiate summer ball.
That is crazy.
What does it bring to have a coach like that behind you?
So to have a good coach, you have to have good players. To have a good coach, you have to recruit well as well. To bring those players to Seattle and say, listen, man, look, I'm going to lay it out. NBC almost contender every single year. We just need to continue to play our baseball, and I want you. And with those summer collegiate wins, hard-fought summer collegiate wins, multiple NBC World Series, you get those good players there, and that's why always the coach and the studs are always competitive.
You mentioned multiple NBC World Series victories. They have won 3 of the last 8.
Wow.
Of those other 5, Santa Barbara has won 4, and the Kansas Stars won 1. If you're not Santa Barbara or Seattle, it's very hard to win this series. And you're about to see why.
Right. Those are the teams to beat. They come in here every year. Those are the teams to beat. They have a vibe. Everyone knows that. They're kind of big cocky, but why not? You're that good. So those are the teams that they fight for and do really try to get those dubs, but we'll see what happens coming in today.
Seattle won the Pacific International League, who has 5 teams this year. They took last year off, so not every team came back this year. We do expect them to kind of get their forces back together next year.
Of course.
And they went 14-5 during the year. They have a couple of special tournaments they usually play, like the Grand Forks tournament up near Canada, and that's a big one for all those teams up there in the Northeast.
Yep.
In 2019, they made a trip to Alaska to play Fairbanks. A
With
lot of these teams up there seem to play in a couple of special events, and we're very lucky to have them participate in ours.
I agree.
A couple of players that you need to know about. First, Landon Riker, one of the outfielders for the Studs, has a .433 batting average this summer, 53 RBIs.
Wow.
And probably the best thing about him, He's a 4-year Seattle stud, 5-year if you count last year's year off. He is a career, in his career with the Studs, a career 382 overall average, a 141 RBIs, and 232 hits.
Wow.
That's a lifelong stud.
Yep, and I think in multiple ways, that's a lifelong stud in Seattle, and that's a lifetime stud playing baseball. Those numbers don't just come out of nowhere. That takes practice, determination, and grind, and you saw it right there.
On the mound, the guy to watch, Anthony Brady. In 22 games this year, he has a 1.17 ERA and 60 strikeouts, and he is another 4-year stud, 5-year if you count last year, and has a 182 ERA in 74 career games for the Studs. This guy is Mr. Reliable on the mound.
Something tells me they'll probably hold him off today, save him for the next game. But it's going to be great to see him on the mound and continue to grow in his Studs career and try to get another NBC championship.
If Seattle wins this game, they would have to play Lone Star. I expect that to be one of the games of the tournament if it ends up happening because this Lone Star team puts up runs in big amounts and has great starting pitching.
No kidding.
It's almost the exact same about this Seattle team. They put up a lot of runs, but they have great starting pitching. If Seattle can get the job done tonight, we are set for a very entertaining game Friday night, and that one's going to have a lot of trouble competing with Cheney and Derby to see who can be the game of the night.
Yeah.
Before we send you up for the official game broadcast, I want to hear what your key to the game is for Seattle to win, and then your key to win the game if you're 3-1-6.
3-1-6. Bring it all. This is the biggest game of your year, biggest game for your NBC career, even if it's early. This is huge. You're playing the Seattle Studs to bring in the NBC World Series, first day at Hutch. Bring everything you got. Don't think that just because you're high schoolers doesn't mean you have a chance. I'd say fight for everything you got. And then for Seattle, just play your game. You're that good, to be honest. We know you're going to be that good. Just play your game and you should win.
So the home team will be 3-1-6 Elite. Leading off for them and playing left field is number 9, Ethan Stuckey. Batting second is going to be the second baseman, wearing number 2, Brendan Green. Batting third is number 16 and playing center field, Eli Fonestock. Batting fourth and playing catcher, number 11, Drake Unrein. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 24, Sterling Pierce. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 35, Mitch Casement. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 10, Caden McBrantley. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 45, Alex Roca. And batting ninth is the right fielder, number 18, Justin Hannon. And starting on the mound for 3-1-6 tonight is Harper Kennedy, number 22. And the starting lineups for I'm going to say it one more time, the Seattle-Tacoma Cheney Studs. Leading off is Landon Riker, the guy we told you have to worry about, center fielder, number 10. Batting second is going to be the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Batting third and playing first base and wearing number 3 is Evan Scavato. Batting fourth is going to be the right fielder, number 24, Jake Pauley. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 14, Jonas Kim. Batting in the sixth spot, playing third base, number 15, Charlie Larson. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 5, Kellen Carr. Batting eighth and playing catcher, number 7, Brady Hinkle. And in the 9th spot is the shortstop, number 23, Kyle Rodriguez. The starting pitcher for Seattle is Christian Peters. He'll wear number 41. We are set for a very entertaining matchup. I'm excited to see how this one plays out. I'm even more excited to see the winner of this team play a Lone Star team.
I agree.
So we're going to send it up to our broadcast up top. If you do want to join us directly after tonight's game, we will have one quick little show just to wrap up the whole day's activity here at the 87th NBC World Series, Day 1. We'll recap today, get you set for tomorrow, and we will be giving you the opportunity to interact with us a little bit more and hopefully have a little fun with us as well.
And also feel free to comment in the game chat of the NBC World Series. That's all there. We love to hear your comments. We love to respond to them. We read all those comments. We love to see them. So keep those comments going, and tonight's show is going to be fun. We always have a good last night show.
So for Andrew Burgos, I'm Matthew Will. Thank you for joining us on NBC World Series Live, here live at the 87th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.